Welcome to the Travel Like a Boss podcast, the radio show all about traveling like a boss by being your own boss. Stay tuned for weekly interviews featuring guests that have built their own online businesses. If you would like to have access to our entire back catalog, visit travellikeabosspodcast.com for instant access. And here's your host, Johnny FD.
Hey everyone, this is Johnny and welcome to episode 121 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm sitting here in Lisbon, Portugal with Daniel Siemaszkiewicz. How do you say your name?
It's pronounced Siemaszkiewicz.
Okay, nice.
I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right.
What's your ethnic background actually?
Polish.
You're Polish, okay.
Yeah.
I'll be going there in a few weeks to
No way.
Warsaw and Krakow.
Warsaw and Krakow.
Yeah.
So my family's from an area right in between both of those cities. Called Katowice. It's actually just outside Katowice called Rybnik. It's like a coal mining area. It's pretty heavy.
Nice. So we are sitting where? Can you kind of describe this?
This is called Armastor. It's a, I don't know how you say it, Miradouro. It's like a lookout point basically, overlooking the bridge to Good Times heading south. So basically everything over that bridge is beaches and sunshine. So
nice.
Yeah.
So you are originally from Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
And we met at a co-working space here in Lisbon.
Yes.
And you invited me to come hang out with you and your roommate.
Yeah.
At this crazy lookout. And we are surrounded by probably like 150 people drinking right now, having beers. I definitely smell some weed. There's the guitarist of what band is it?
The National.
Just sitting to my left, looking super stoic. This is a pretty crazy day, right?
This is an everyday thing here.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can get your roommate to take a photo of us so people can kind of see the setup. Maybe from a little bit further away so you can see like the whole.
Yeah, it's true.
The whole getup, and then people can see like this is a live podcast.
Yeah.
In the middle of this chaos.
Yeah. I mean, basically, when I first met my roommate here, he invited me for a couple drinks, and ends up this is kind of what people do after work. They just grab a drink, come hang out in the sunshine, and take a look at the view and just relax. So
what are we drinking here? I got a Summersby apple cider with citrus.
It's not too Lisbon-y.
And I have a bag. No, it is. Like I almost feel like the like cider, beer, wine. It's all good here, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and this is I guess there's two beers in Portugal. It's Superboc or Sagres. Okay. And you kind of have allegiance to one or the other based on the football team that you follow.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah, so I think it's Superboc sponsors Sporting. Superboc and Sporting, and Sagres and Benfica. Is that how it works? Yeah.
So I know when I was up in Porto this last couple of days that Superboc is the only beer you can get. Basically, any event, any sporting event, any like festival or anything, it's just Superboc. You don't even have to say, I want a Superboc. You just say, I want a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's only two options really when it comes to like a nice beer, summer beer.
But
here.
they do have some craft beers here as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of a scene, I guess, popping up slowly and surely. Yeah.
But what's really good here is the wine. Portuguese wine. It's amazing. Yeah. I did an experiment yesterday where I bought the cheapest bottle of wine at the supermarket. It was €1.29, which is about $1.50 US. Yeah. And it was exceptionally good.
How much would that be in San Francisco?
That would be a $20 or $30 bottle easily. And even if I paid $20 for a bottle in San Francisco, I probably wouldn't expect it to be that good. I'd be impressed. If I got that for $20, I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. I would recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's a fact of life here. Like food, wine, all the things that are awesome are super affordable. So going out, going to concerts, getting good food, it's all within like a €20 budget every night.
Yeah. So let's talk a little about what you do for work, what the cost of living is, and why you're here. You're from Vancouver, and you started working for Buffer?
Yeah.
For how long ago?
I think it's actually been around 2 months and maybe a week. 2 months and 2 weeks. So initially, I was working for another startup locally called Uniplaces. And actually, I applied for Buffer about a year ago. Didn't quite make it through, I think it was the second or third round, which is actually a very common story at the company. I think a lot of people reapply and once they realize that's something that they're really aligned with, they keep going for it until they kind of make it a reality. So
I think that's really cool that they are selective, number one, but also the fact that the people that work for them are humble, because you don't, obviously if you had an ego and you're like, oh, these guys rejected me or they didn't approve me, you probably want to go back and reapply again.
Yeah.
So the fact that you do go back and you ask for a second chance, it kind of shows that you don't have a big head, right?
Yeah, and it's one of the 10 values basically that that we try to exercise every day. It's the most interesting thing I think is that I've noticed so far is the values that they do hold are not just talked about; they're actually lived through their actions. Like every action you take, you kind of see these values kind of shining through. So it's been really,
not to put you on the spot. Do you know what the 10 values are?
Oh man, I think it's obviously default to transparency, default to positivity, be a no ego doer, focus on how many is that? Focus on self-improvement. I think those are the main ones I kind of reside with personally. Then there's quite a few. But I think the biggest ones that stand out to people are the default to transparency and also to positivity.
I like that. So if you guys don't know what Buffer is, they are a way where you can basically buffer your social media sharing.
Correct.
So things like Facebook, Twitter, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they work with like Instagram?
Yeah, so Instagram's in the pipeline. So I think it's in the next couple of weeks it's going to be released, but it's a bit of a different product. It's Instagram reminders. They don't have a public API, so there's some complications there. We don't want to put like users in a position where they might get, shafted from their account. But yeah, basically it's a way to schedule posts for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and soon Instagram as well.
Very cool. So I use Buffer mainly because I'm always traveling in different time zones. So when I'm in Thailand, if I'm posting at 2 p.m., it's probably 4 a.m. in the U.S. Nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
So I have my intern buffer, the next couple days posts. And that way, if there's an episode to be shared, for Travel Like a Boss, or if we want to share some like photos or whatever it is, people will actually see it during like a time they're awake.
Exactly. Yeah.
And big shout out to Buffer actually, because you guys sponsored the 2015 or 2015 Nomad Summit in Chiang Mai, which is this big conference we have for digital nomads. So like 120 people showed up.
Yeah.
Buffer paid for the event space, and everyone got to go for free. The videos were up on nomadsummit.com for free because of Buffer. So thanks.
Awesome. Yeah.
So the other thing about Buffer is they are transparent. So if someone wanted to go online and look up your salary, could they find that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's insane, right?
Yeah.
Well, so what do you make right now?
I don't actually. I have to check. I have to double check. I think it's if you take a look, it's all there. But I think it's around $48,000 US dollars a year.
Good salary, especially living here in Lisbon.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's quite competitive based on a lot of crowdsourced data from Numbeo.com and some of the industry standards for what people are paid in the certain positions that we do have. Yeah.
So that salary goes up and down depending on how expensive the city you live in.
Yeah. So if you're let's say a digital nomad and you're traveling around, I have to actually explore this. Like as I said, I've only been around for 2 months, so I've been stuck in Lisbon this whole time, just enjoying the sun here for the summer, and I will be until November, I think. But yeah, I mean, I think they're exploring like even a digital nomad salary. But basically, wherever your home base is, that's the salary. It's going to be calculated on the cost of living, predominantly, for that city.
So we were talking on the walk over, which is up these crazy hills, by the way.
The 7 hills, yeah.
And if you guys haven't been to Lisbon, it looks just like San Francisco. Like we are literally staring at the Golden Gate Bridge right now.
Walking up and down hills.
Up and down hills, cobblestone streets, cable cars. This looks like Dolores Park, which is where all the hippies hang out and smoke weed. It just happens to be sunny and beautiful.
Yeah.
And these beers are $1.
Yeah, less.
Oh yeah, because we did a hack. We went to the grocery store half a block away, and I got a bag of cherries, like really amazing, like sweet. I don't know if they're organic, but they taste like they're like local cherries, and a apple cider for I think €2.50, which is less than $3.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And you can't get that in the U.S. There's no possible way. In Vancouver, even more.
No. Vancouver is. I know San Francisco is on another level. But yeah, one of the major reasons I started traveling about 5 years ago was because of the cost of living in Vancouver, and the opportunities weren't really aligned with it.
So what are your cost of living here in Lisbon, and what are they in Vancouver?
So I'd say an apartment to rent in Vancouver is probably about $1,000 a month. While here you can find something to rent for €300, €250.
And what do you pay?
It was €250 a month for a while, and we decided to axe one roommate and split the rent with a little bit of a higher cost, but it's about €300 a month.
Okay, and it's just the two of you guys in the apartment?
Yeah.
City center, walkable.
Yeah,
that's great, man.
It's right next to Parliament.
Yeah. What would this cost you in Vancouver?
Okay, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, I'd say it would be about 1,000 or 1,200 maybe Canadian. Actually, then you have to factor in location, so I'd say around 1,200 to 1,500 if it's downtown Vancouver. Yeah,
that's crazy. So that apartment in San Francisco will probably be, I don't know. Actually, Vancouver is kind of the same price as San Francisco, so I would say about the same, maybe a little bit more, 1,500. Because you're splitting it with someone, so that the whole apartment might be like $3,000 or $3,500.
Yeah.
So cost of living for, let's say, the co-working space, we're actually in the most expensive one in Lisbon. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of that.
I wrote up a guide on my blog, johnnyfd.com. I think it's called Johnny's Guide to Lisbon for Digital Nomads. I think this is about €200.
Yeah.
About $20, a little bit over $200 per month. I think they do fixed desks only, so no they do some day passes, and they were actually super cool. Where they are full right now, so they actually are not taking new members, and they still let me come for free, just use it for the day.
That's so awesome.
And they didn't know I was going to podcast about it. They didn't know I was going to write a blog post about it. They're just like, yeah, you're in town, come hang out. So big shout out to Cowork Central.
Yeah.
I think so far it's been my favorite place.
No, it's amazing. Like as soon as I came there, super welcoming. Everyone's super nice. They got free coffee. They got a little standing desk area, so I kind of just hang out there in the hallway. And yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised it's the most expensive. I think there's one. I thought there was one called 226 somewhere.
I haven't been there, but I looked at their site and it was a little bit less. It was like €175.
Okay, yeah.
I checked out the LX Factory.
Yeah.
And Fabrica de Startups.
Fabrica
de Startups. And they were both much cheaper. But this is more central, more natural light. Kind of just like I would say just kind of a better situation.
Yeah, I think the most important thing when it comes to co-working spaces, or at least something that I notice, is when there's a lot of bigger co-working spaces where it's an entire company, and it's like an entire company by entire company by entire company, and it's not so many individual, maybe digital nomads or however you want to describe them. So at this co-working space, there's a lot of individuals working for their own companies, and there's maybe one or two bigger companies in their own separate rooms, but you have a much more, organic feel to meeting people and, being genuinely curious as to what they're up to.
I noticed that straight away. Right when I walked in, everybody was super friendly to me, super social.
Yeah.
Even the company, there's a company that develops apps, and the three of them that were all working for the same company, they just wanted to hang out and just chit chat. So I would say so far it's the most social co-working space that I found in Lisbon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up this episode is I wanted to talk about Porto, which is the small town north in Portugal, which you've actually been talking about checking out. As you asked your roommate to crack open a second beer for you, I see you taking a look at them.
No, it's unfortunate. I haven't even been there yet, and my roommate here is pretty upset about that. I've been here for a year, and I still haven't trekked up there. So
yeah, let's get him on the podcast.
Absolutely.
What? Yeah, because I told Daniel kind of 10 times already. I'm going to Porto. You want to join me? You want to know the city? Please come. And like 100% like denial for the fucking 10
for no
invitations.
reason either, because he can work from anywhere, number one. It's a 25-euro train ride. It's a beautiful train ride to Porto.
No, but actually 9 times of all these 10, it was not working on buffer yet. So yeah.
Okay, so now you can go to Porto if you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure he goes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, Lisbon has so much to offer itself. It's just hard to get out of here. I mean, there's so much going on every day, even on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Surfing all Saturday, Sunday, different spots all over the coast. You know,
Tell me about surfing here.
Oh my goodness. So I grew up snowboarding. It's something that I've always been passionate about, and luckily, obviously, through my roommate and the people I met here, I got introduced to someone named Tomasz Valench. So he started up a surf camp called Lisbon Surf Connection. Just started this year, and they've been doing incredible. They already made the cover of like Time Out magazine in Portugal, and they have a kind of different concept where it's maybe one instructor for 5 or 6 surfers. So they're in the water with you, teaching you like every single wave, as opposed to maybe other surf schools where they're kind of just on the beach, like yelling at you or pointing you where to go and whatnot.
And the actual surf here? Well, how's that?
So I've only started here, so I don't have much of a benchmark to compare it to, but yeah, it's phenomenal.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. You have to wear a wetsuit. I don't know if that's something that some people don't enjoy, but
I don't think I've seen that many places that have good waves where you don't have to wear a wetsuit, and even then you'd have to have a rash guard anyways. Like California, it's pretty cold most of the year, so you'd almost always have a wetsuit.
Right.
I guess you can go to like Bali and places that are warm enough, but yeah, even then you'd have a rash guard. So
yeah,
I guess not that big of a deal, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, basically, I've been just heading out every Saturday, Sunday to different spots within an hour's drive. We also actually went on a 4-day surf trip down south, where he just would take us to a beach in the morning, beach in the afternoon, put us up in an amazing spot in Lagos, kind of as a home base, and it's just insanely affordable for the actual value you get. Like you're doing cultural things while surfing and getting to know the country.
So Lisbon definitely has a heads up for being close to nice beaches where you can surf.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's surfing up in Porto? Is there surfing up near Porto? I don't think there is like either good surfing or much of it up in Porto.
I guess they have a beach in Foz,
Yeah.
which is like a part of the where the river meets the sea, and they have like a few guys surfing, but more to north they have a place called Espinho. And I guess there's a lot of people surfing there. But I'm not sure because I don't surf too.
Yeah, but it's probably more convenient from Lisbon for sure.
Yeah.
Like here, we actually have the ocean. Like I'm looking at the ocean right behind us. It's more of a, I don't know, what do you call that? Is it a river? No.
This is,
It's inlet.
Yeah.
So it connects to the ocean so you can just, drive a boat out to the ocean from here.
Absolutely, yeah.
While in Porto, it's a river. The River Douro, which has some great wineries. So if you guys like port wine, I checked out some wine cellars there. I think it was for maybe €8, not like $9. They give you a tour of the wine cellars in this cave. It's beautiful. They pour you 3 glasses of port wine. They kind of explain it to you. So if you guys are up there, you gotta have to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a shame I haven't done so yet. Yeah. But I have another partner in crime who hasn't done so either. So now we're both really
now
pumped
you have
on
a reason,
going.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say pros and cons of Porto versus Lisbon.
Yeah.
First off, weather. It's warmer in Lisbon.
Okay.
So
is that a con or a pro?
On the hottest days of the year, which is only probably a few,
yeah.
it's probably a downside because it's too hot, right?
Yeah.
But
if you're Canadian, yeah.
During the winter or like most of the year,
yeah.
Lisbon has slightly better weather, and the fact that it's close to this inlet ocean, it just kind of feels nicer because you have the breeze, you're by the water.
Yeah, you have the sea breeze.
Cost of living, Porto is definitely cheaper. Not by too much, I would say. It could be up to 30% cheaper, which is actually quite a bit if you think about it.
Yeah.
But Portugal in general is so much cheaper than living in Vancouver, San Francisco, or the rest of Europe that it doesn't make that big of a difference. So instead of paying $250 or $300 for rent, maybe you're paying $350, right?
Right.
Same with like drinks, like I would say in Porto, standard price for beer is €1. Here you can find it, but you have to find the local spots.
Right.
Yeah. If you just go to like a tourist spot, they might be charging you $150 to €2.
$152. Yeah.
So most people listening right now are like,
is that even a big deal?
Yeah. Who cares? Right. Like, but I guess it adds up, right?
Yeah, it does.
If you're living here and you're a nomad, I kind of want Porto to be the next nomad hotspot because it is cheaper and it's smaller, which is good because you can walk everywhere. You don't have to take Ubers or anything.
Right.
You can just basically live and work in city center and just hang out there. But Lisbon has more to do. You have the surfing. You have, just like it's just bigger.
There's a lot of culture here. I think that's something that's really celebrated, like music, art, all that kind of stuff. The history, all these spots, all these little kiosks have a story. So it's
more
really
co-working
interesting.
spaces here. In general, I think there's like 4, 5, 6, maybe more. I haven't checked them all out. In Porto, there's really only like 2.
Yeah.
But they happen to be good ones. You guys can check out my review. I think I called it Johnny's Guide to Porto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to. I'm going to be there for a week, so I got to work somewhere.
Food is cheaper, I think. I think cheap food is better in Porto because they have all the sandwiches, the Votephonefm, I can't pronounce any of these. Francesina. Have you ever heard of that?
Francesina, yeah.
Man.
I don't think I've had it.
Crazy. Okay,
No,
imagine a couple slices of bread, and inside of it is ham, 2 types of sausage, an entire steak covered in cheese, and 2 liters of sauce that is made with tomatoes and beer. And optionally, you can have a fried egg on top.
Wow. And is that like a breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
It's more of a dinner thing, right?
Yeah,
but what's crazy, I actually thought it was like one of those tourist things that no one ever has. But I'm like sitting in a diner and I see these 2 skinny Portuguese girls just eating this giant sandwich with a plate of fries next to it.
That's
and
awesome.
I actually asked them, I said like, is this normal? And they're like, yeah, it's just dinner.
Wow.
So they have that. They have these bifanas, which
Yeah.
are these amazing little
Yeah,
pork
bifana.
sandwiches. You can either get with the pork cutlet that's like 3 times the size of the bread, or you can get it sliced in this like stew sauce, which is like almost like a French dip. They're €1.
Yeah, I'm super lucky because my roommate, we that's like the biggest thing we enjoy is just going to restaurants and just eating like all this food here. The octopus. Have you ever had deep fried octopus?
Not deep fried. I had the octopus salad, which
is also good.
It was so good, man. Like, like I don't even like seafood.
I've never had octopus in my life until I came here.
I think I tried it before and it was chewy, and I was like, "Oh, this is disgusting. Why would I eat this?" And here, they just put it on your table. Like you don't even order it. Sometimes they just bring it up. And they just put it on your table, especially if you're by the beach. And it turns out you pay for it if you eat it.
If you actually take a bite.
Yeah.
It's classic.
Which is kind of a nice upsell, right? But at the same time, it's like a nice upsell because you eat it, you're like, oh, this is really good. It's like really fresh, citrusy. I personally try not to eat octopus because as a scuba diver, I see how smart they are.
Oh, wow.
They're like these beautiful creatures. So if anything, I would recommend people eat squid, which are stupid creatures. I tried the snails as well.
Yeah.
In Cascais, the beach town.
Yeah.
I'll never eat that again. It's insane.
I love those. I had a blast eating those.
If you guys want to see a video of me eating a snail, it's on YouTube. Just search for Johnny Lisbon. Oh, it's so disgusting.
Snails.
Like I wasn't even exaggerating in the video. It was so disgusting I couldn't eat it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was a big fan. Ours were marinated in garlic and lemon and whatnot. So I'm a fan. It could be mixed reviews.
Well, I think if you like seafood, I assume you like snails. All right.
Yeah. I like all food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big seafood fan, but I've been having a lot more fish here because it's just good here. It's so fresh. It's cheap.
And have you had a chance to like hit up all the little Tashkas and those little like hole in the wall diners?
Yep.
Mom and pop
Bunch of
diners.
them. I love them. One of the travel secrets is if someone is trying to get you into the restaurant, don't go there. It probably sucks. But if the staff like doesn't give a crap if you walk in or not,
that's the one.
And there's like the menus, they don't even have anything on the menu. It's just like this handwritten piece of paper that has whatever just happens to be fresh that day. Those are the good places.
Yeah, that's the one.
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's great. And like the portions are huge and it's always good local products. So yeah, life is really good here.
So I think we are going to sit here, enjoy our beers, enjoy our cherries, enjoy this rest of this view. I wish you guys can be here for the sunset. Take a look at the show notes for this episode. It's episode 121. I'll have links to everything that we talked about. Make sure you guys watch the video of me in Lisbon, because I basically show everything I did, including those snails. If people want to keep in touch with you, find out more, like how can they?
Yeah. Here we go. The plug. I guess I usually keep quite up to date on Instagram in case anyone wants to follow like surf trips. It's the pronunciation of my last name with a Mexican accent. It's Siemaszkiewicz. SEMAKAWEEZAY.
Maybe I should link it in the show notes.
Yeah, that might be best.
People can find you there.
But I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Siemaszkiewicz.
Okay, very cool. If you guys want to check out Buffer, it's bufferapp.com.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to his roommate on the radio.
Vodafone Lisbon, I guess, yeah? Votephonefm.
Yeah, very cool. So that's it. So peace out, everyone. Have a good week. I hope it wasn't too loud, but I hope kind of the ambiance made you guys kind of feel like we
gotta
are
come here.
live. You guys have to do this. I mean, it's literally insane. Lisbon is incredible. Porto is incredible. So whichever one ends up being the next to my hotspot, I'm okay with. I'll move to either one.
Yeah.
If I was going to predict it, I think Lisbon is going to be the first nomad hotspot.
Up next. Yeah.
Just because there's so much more to do here. It's more established. The weather's good year round. A slightly bigger international airport, even though Porto actually has direct flights to 66 cities. Do you know that?
Wow.
And not just within Europe, so you can go to like France or Berlin or the Netherlands, but you can actually fly to, I think it was Toronto.
What?
Direct to Porto.
I need to know this because I got to get home.
And you can fly to Brazil direct.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
From Porto, but not Lisbon.
Lisbon, you can fly to, I don't know about to Canada, but you can fly direct to New York, Washington, D.C., Miami, and to Brazil.
Wow.
So actually a great hub. Low-cost carriers like Ryanair are better out of Porto, just because I think it's like a cheaper airline to fly from. And I actually almost regret, besides coming to meet you guys, I would have just flew out of Porto because I could have got to Berlin direct through Ryanair. And in Lisbon, the only flight that's direct to Berlin is with who's that low-cost airline that sucks? EasyJet.
Yeah, they're all a bit tough.
Well, the thing, I don't even mind if it sucks. I just mind that their only flight to Berlin is at 6 a.m., which means you have to wake up at like 4 a.m. and head to the airport. I just refuse to do that just because it's terrible on your body. Yeah. It's just uncomfortable experience. And the airline, they do that on purpose because they're just cheap asses. They just want to like save some money. So I don't want to support that. I don't want to mess up my health or my sleep schedule. So I said, you know what? Instead, let me check out Ryanair, which is also a cheap airline, but they have a great booking system. Probably the best online booking system I've ever used in the world. The easiest, API, whoever the UX designer is, shout out to them. Every other airline, especially EasyJet, needs to hire their developers and just copy whatever
inspired.
They use. And funny story is I actually booked a flight to the wrong country.
Wow.
I chose Burnham.
That's my worst nightmare. Yeah. That's my worst nightmare.
And I stupidly confirmed my flight as well.
Oh, wow.
But Ryanair was so cool that in their live chat, they actually said, oh, no problem. Where do you want to go instead?
Oh, that's
fees.
That must have been the best relief ever.
It was so easy, man.
Wow.
So I'm breaking up my trip. I'm going to Belgium for 2 days before I head to Berlin. Have some chocolate, some French fries.
Some really great beer.
Yeah,
some really great dark beers. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be fun. So the next episode, I'm not sure if I'm going to be in Belgium or Berlin. But stay tuned.
Thanks for having me, man.
Man, thanks for being on. I appreciate both of you guys on. How do you say see you guys next week in Portuguese?
Vejo-vos na próxima semana.
You heard that, what he said. Peace out, everyone.
So just to recap, I finally remembered the 10 values. It's like I said, choose positivity, default to transparency, which makes a huge difference with our users, obviously. Focus on self-improvement, be a no ego doer, listen first and listen more. So that obviously comes in handy when you're dealing with users. You might not get the problem the first time, second time around, it usually works out. Communicate with clarity, make time to reflect. That's one that I'm working on currently. Live smarter, not harder. Show gratitude and do the right thing.
I like it.
Yes.
Good tips. Maybe I'll copy that for my own business. If anyone wants to try to get one of these crazy, work anywhere in the world jobs, any tips for them?
Absolutely. Actually, we have someone that runs. I think it's a mailing list, but it's a website as well. It's remotive.io, and Rodolphe, he actually posted recently a post with 200 startups hiring remotely right now. So that's 200 opportunities for people to check out. It's remotive.io, so remotive.io.
Nice. And what qualifications did you have to have? What helped you get that job?
Myself, I would love to actually ask that question to my teammates, but I think it's there's three things. It's got to be a good culture fit. You should be experienced within this type of working environment.
Yeah, so what's your actual job title? I didn't even ask.
I'm a happiness hero for the Buffer for Business users. So it's a customer success hero, basically. These are accounts that have about 25 social profiles that they manage with 5 team members. So things get a little, a tad bit more complex within these situations. So yeah, I just get to hang out and talk to them on a daily basis, make sure everything's running smoothly on their end, and fix up anything that might not be.
Okay. I like it. So if you guys need some happiness from this episode, I guess you guys can leave a comment and talk to each other. But big thank you to everyone who's taking the time to leave a review of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. And I will see you guys all next week. Peace out.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus, how to choose the perfect niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.